tonight on LFG.
All the damn work I put in with you.
LuFisto.
What can you do with this person who's new so they look good, you look good, and everybody's safe?
Might as well put him in a black leather jacket and a black hat.
Jeff Lippman.
It looked like she was too slow for school, but she came out playing the hot mean girl.
That looked really good.
Boil them, fry them, put them in the stew. Boil them, fry them, put them in the stew. Boil them, fry them, put them in the stew.
It's the LFG finals. It is like Festivus. I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're gonna hear about it. My dear Jeff, it is the end of the road for season 2. Before we get into it, any comments, any thoughts, anything you wanna let, I don't know, that comes from your heart, since this is the end?
Well, it's actually not the end, because LFG season 3 has been renewed. I don't know who's going to be on it. I don't know if it's going to be the same format. I don't know if we'll see some of the same people. We certainly don't seem like we're going to see some of the people, because in the releases that were revealed this week included BJ Ray, which I don't think either of us is heartbroken about that. Summer Sorrell, who I would say is a bit of a surprise. Not a terrible surprise. It was more of a surprise that she was on LFG than she was released, because they have a lot of women sort of similar to her. That said, I saw progress in the short time that I don't know why they're pulling the cord so early. And much to my surprise, well, 2 surprises. One, a last year graduate to Evolve, Jamar Hampton, or Troy Yearwood, for those who only watch LFG, who I think to this moment still holds 9 strength records in the PC, was cut. He was on Evolve. He was working in a program with Itzgal as sort of mismatched tag team partners who were admiring each other's peaks, and it was actually hysterical. They said he had a cracked hip bone on TV. I have no idea whether the TV revealed injury is a real injury or not. If it's real and it's a cracked hip bone, that could be revelatory of a lot of things, but it could just be bullshit. So I don't know, but I was surprised on that. Not only was he on Evolve, but for those of you who, don't pay attention to the sort of these other ancillary content, but you do see all of the WWE commercials, because you have to, because you're watching their PLEs. There is one where LA Knight and Jey Uso are doing a Slim Jim commercial. It goes on for very long. They walk through a bunch of different scenes and backdrops, and in those backdrops, there are some wrestlers and some actors. And in one of them, Jamar Hampton was one of the background actors doing yoga. And
you know what? We don't even see those commercials like in Crown Jewel, the pay-per-view. All we get is that it's like a music. It's the same thing for SmackDown. It's like do 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 do.
It's like the way to use it for wrestling soup.
Oh yeah.
Or like when you're waiting for Peacock for your show to start.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and it just says like we'll be back later in all kinds of languages with wrestlers doing poses for 3 minutes. So in case you ever wonder what's going on for the internationals, that's what we see. So it's a long pee break. It's not even entertaining. It's like just a loop over, like a loop going on a loop on a loop on the of that terrible song.
So for anybody wondering, that, I mean, first of all, they have like 300 people they could have put in that commercial when they chose him. And yes, he looks like an African-American version of Jesse Goddard's, basically, 5'10", 5'11", perfect physique, carved out of stone. So I don't know. But the real one that took me by surprise, and probably by you, and led me to believe Houston, is there a problem? Haze Jameson? Why the hell would you cut her?
Unless there's something that happened, like, I don't know, either a major injury or she asked to release because it's not, whatever the reason.
Or she's
felt she's really drunk. I just felt it was a little bit quick. So she's been there. Like when they were filming LFG, they were saying 5 months. Yeah. So let's say a year. Within a year, and if I just like think about what I saw on LFG, there was like major progress. So to me, it speaks like, okay, let's give her another year just to see where this is going. Is like her wrestling was not graceful. It was not like super tight. But with the kind of gimmick she had, it worked that she was falling awkwardly. And as long as she was not getting hurt or hurting her opponents, that was fine. Now, do WWE want to have a character that's drunk or high or whatever? Is it sponsor, since they're all about that now? Is it sponsor friendly? But I mean, she could be like Budweiser's like main sponsor,
or Prime. She's done energy drinks. I mean, just a wild child. You don't have to say. I don't get it. I mean, I mean, people who've wrestled for 20 years who didn't have that kind of character development and those kinds of layers and those kind of instincts and that kind of fun, just making everything fun and incorporating everyone. I don't know that I've ever seen that from, and in 5 months. And there's either something there or she didn't want to be there or whatever. Maybe we'll find out in due course, but wow. I mean, when Zeta Steele opted not to renew, and I assume that was over money because she's another one with potential. I assume that's because they had Chelsea Green, they have Ariana Grace, like the next generation of that, and then they had Haze Jameson, which we the generation after of Ariana. And in generation in wrestling, I mean 4 to 5 years. I don't mean like 12 to 15 years. Of think of procreation generations. So the people who were stars 5 years ago aren't all stars now. And the people who will be stars in 5 years, we might not even know some of their names right now. In any event, I was surprised. And I think that this season finale being in Houston, and the famous line from Houston is, "Houston, we have a problem," I think was fitting, because some strange things, and again, like you said, or maybe I said, we'll probably find out more over the course of time. They'll give interviews or whatever. Maybe to me. I hope so. Ladies, you're not restrained by contract. I mean, why not give a little guy
Haze Jameson, reach out.
Haze,
we love you here.
I know because you've liked Zeta. I know you know me. I know because you shot me a DM once telling me you were just fucking around with me, not to be like friendly or anything, but just letting me know that you were in character when you send me what you thought was a mean response. I was just happy to get a response. But yeah, give a little guy a shot. Anyway, this show starts out with the rematch to determine the men's finalist, and we have 2 members of erstwhile teams. We have erstwhile Team Taker, Drake Morreau, now part of Team Bubba. And we have Harlem Lewis. And the first thing I noticed about Harlem Lewis, it looks like he shaved his body.
You know what? Yeah. I noticed he was wearing red instead of black, but I don't know why. I didn't look at the body, but well. So, he says he
only have eyes for you're a man. The love is so large.
Or my cats.
Oh, your cats, your pastas.
Oh, yeah. Or I watched this episode way too late. But, Lewis says he thrives under that kind of pressure. Like, he's really focused. He's really serious. You can see that for him, like, the wrestling is a serious thing. That's what he want to do. You feel it when he's talking. And then you have Shawn moment. It's like, you had a moment, so much so you had your legends all wound it up, like with what happened with Drake and Harlem. Like, they were like all into it. So he's looking forward to this rematch. He has the last decision. He says, wrestles like your career depend on it, at least for now. So these are the words of HBK. And we get like right away into the match, which happened before. It happened in another place than Houston, because it's almost happening like, I don't know if it happened like a few minutes after the last taping. It looks like it's really quick. It's like they didn't like change setting or anything, or I don't know if it was after a training or whatever. They're in the same place they were for the previous match. So the match, there's a great start. And it's really intense. Like, they go like bam, bam, bam right away. And really, it was the only way they could start this match for it to make sense with all the background of it. That's a match where you have to start like this. It needs to be intense and it needs to be serious, because the outcome of this is really important. Somebody is going to go to Houston and probably, might get a contract. So Harlem playing differently, we could see like clear cut, like he's a heel, Drake's a baby face. Harlem cuts him with a knee. Drake, like big baby face, come back with a strong tackles, hands with a splash, and goes for the pin, which is great because when you're doing your comeback as a baby face, you should always have that exclamation point at the end. Try a pin at least. I like people kicking out at one when it's the beginning of the match. It makes sense that you're not dead unless like the exclamation point move is like big, but it shouldn't be that big. So that splash he does is great for that. And Harlem he actually kicked out at one, which was great to see. Yeah. Here's one thing that I've noticed, and it happens a lot in wrestling. And I mean, next time you're watching anything wrestling, like any wrestling match from anywhere, look for the hand. When people go for whips, you'll often see the opponent lift their hands like they want to shake the hands. Don't do this. If you're a wrestler, do not do this. You're not supposed to be cooperating with your opponent. There's a way to, put your hand near your stomach, right in front, so it's right there to grab, but wait until the opponent grabs your hand. And I clearly saw Harlem go whoop, lift his hand and like, hey, whip me. But, it's a little thing that, nice to meet you. Yes. It's a little thing that happens all the time. If you're a wrestler, please try to avoid it. Drake drop kicks Harlem outside. Big heel cutoff when he actually, Drake's a big man. So to use everything around as the eat for the heel makes a ton of sense. You see Harlem ramming Drake into, there's the announcing table and there's a suplex to the outside. He's making sure that the bigger guy will stay down. And Drake, he's great at selling his spatials. He's holding his back, like you can see where it hurts. Lewis is like, it's a super like vicious heat. He tries pinfalls. He has great punches. Drake, like the whole spot, grabs Harlem by the throat, push him in a corner. And I thought like they were working so well together because Drake would fight back, but in his fighting back would put Harlem right where he needed to be to go for his next spot, which was, jumping from the second rope. He did a thing where like he kicked the knee, elbow to the back of the head from the more of the back, I would say, not the head, because he was working the back from the second. But who put him there? Drake, when he was trying to fight back and he pushed him away. So we were talking last week about placing yourself for the next move. And that's exactly what they did. It makes sense. It doesn't look scripted. It looks like it's a real fight with a guy trying to get out of it. But oops, he brought his opponent close to the ropes. So Harlem uses the ropes with that nice elbow behind the back. And actually, one thing that is going to come up a lot during this show is what Shawn Michaels is saying at this exact point where he goes, what we need right now. That's like the key, sentence to everything, I think, when it comes to choosing someone. Yeah. What we need right now at NXT. And he's like, Harlem Lewis, he's got a great look. He's got tenacity. And I feel from that point, Shawn's idea was pretty kind of made at this point, because he's like, I would need someone like this. Not that Drake is not good, because Drake is an awesome big guy, baby face, quick, agile. But right now, do they have anybody that is like Harlem? Not really. So I think, yeah. So Drake, he has charisma and energy. Shawn says he has a lot of fire. He never gives up. And like I said, he's fast. And Shawn's decision, he's going to say I don't remember what I wrote here. You'll have to cut this off, Mish.
well, I can sort of go from my.
Okay, so All right.
Do you have it? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. So, the match ends and Shawn's decision, first he goes like, as a good promoter, goes to see, like, if both guys are right, you're right. Oh, everything was fine. A good promoter, a booker is going to do that to see, okay, match look great, like in public, but are my guys okay? Because sometimes they get hurt and they keep going. You don't know. And that's the first thing that Shawn did. So I don't know if you want to go over the match before I go with Shawn's decision. Anything you want to add to? I thought it was a very good match and made sense. Like, everything was flowing.
Yeah, no, I was afraid they were going to have the exact same match, and they didn't. And it's also clear the way they work together that despite pretending that they have bad blood with each other, they clearly don't, or at least they can leave it outside the ring, because Harlem allowed Drake to dominate early. And if there's a hole in Harlem's game beyond just being green and like you said, putting his arm off cooperatively when he shouldn't put his arm up, it's that he is so much more impressive on the outside of the ring than he is in the inside of the ring. Like, when they fight on the outside, he's so much more vicious. He feels like he's more natural in space. Drake works well with that also. Like, he's pretty good. I'm not downing. I'm just saying that Harlem outside the ring just seems much more comfortable inside the ring. That might be a problem. I have a feeling that in Noah in Japan, they're going to teach him to get comfortable in the ring with that strong style. So I think sending him to Japan is a great idea. I never saw Harlem do sort of that elbow drop to the back of the neck from the second rope before. It's not a difficult move, but I don't see it very often. I often wonder why we don't see elbow drops from different angles in different places, and it was nice to see that. I don't know why it made such an impression to me, but it did. It was
innovative. I thought, like, he had innovative moves in whatever he was doing. Like you said, he was more like vicious outside, seems more comfortable, but at least when he got inside the ring, he slowed down the pace, and the little things he was doing and the moves, for a big guy like him, it was things we don't see all the time. So it was like
the punch, kick, body slam guy. I mean,
exactly.
Anything. And also, you're facing a guy that's 6'6". You're about 5'11". So, I mean, yeah, you're a strong guy, but still the leverage and probably the overall strength is on his side. And so you want to use the leverage of the ropes and attacking weak points like the back and the neck to neutralize that. Anyway, we see Shawn looking on with Prince Albert, Matt Bloom, same guy, Kentai, whatever you want to call it, or Hentai. And of course, they're being famously non-committal. Oh, yeah, both guys look good here. Could go either way. Thanks a lot, fellas. We get the jackhammer win for Lewis. Good. I think the jackhammer is a really good finisher for him. I was struggling with so I paused the TV at this point. I was struggling, and I want to type, not that anybody's going to test my record, and even if they did, I delete these notes as soon as we're done with the show, but I typed Lewis for me. And then I heard what you heard was Shawn Michaels, congratulating both guys, and I like how he checked on them. It's some of those little things, those insights tell you what wrestling's all about, maybe more than, all the coaches bullshit and stuff like that. And he says, we need size, charisma, and energy. Well, I mean, that really sounds more like Drake or Murray to me. But what we need right now is Harlem. And right then and there, I realized you had Braun Breaker. Then you sort of passed the torch to Obafemi. Obafemi is probably going to be on the main roster as of Royal Rumble. So you need that other sort of strong, muscly, intense, scary guy. And there he is. And by the time Obafemi is on the main roster, he'll be back from Japan, and you'll know whether or not you got a guy or not that you can put some gas behind. Otherwise, hopefully Ridge Holland will be healthy by then, because he can always be your stopgap. He's sort of like the WWE minor league, break glass, get Goldberg or Brock Lesnar back kind of thing. And he seems to be recovering well. And so when he picked Harlem Lewis, I was almost surprised, but I was, first of all, we already knew Harlem was going to Noah, so it could have gone either way. But I was glad that he picked Harlem, but it really was not by a hair, but like by a nose, because either way you could have gone with this. I will always prefer the intense, scary guy over sort of the fun-loving big guy who loves to party but doesn't mind fighting. I always find that to be like a silly, like the No Way Jose thing to be like a silly trope. Hillbilly Jim, So my bias is showing, but I was glad that you picked Harlem Lewis.
Yeah, and I mean, to go back what I was saying, like he said again, what I need immediately, Harlem Lewis. So, probably he was like, to me, like they were both good in this match. Great baby face, great heel. Like everything was clear, everything flowed, besides little things that I see because I train people and I did this for so long, but the regular fan probably doesn't notice or even cares, which is fine. Like it's really minor details. And, Drake was disappointed, but he's happy, with this season because he says, I finally found Drake Morreau. And I agree because the first few episodes I was like, not really. And then suddenly like he woke up and I was like, oh man, this guy is a great baby face. He's like we've been trying to say, like, he's like a Kevin Nash, but he's more athletic and he's this and this. Like, I feel when they're going to need a baby face like this, they're going to call him because he's really, really good. And he's a natural baby face and he gets the crowd going. They love him.
Yeah, no, you could do anything. You could put him on NXT tomorrow too. I mean, if they ever decided to make Chase U serious again, you could put him in Chase U and Duke Hudson, who developed a character but never really learned how to wrestle. You could put him in that role, and you get an instant upgrade. I know that Uriah Connors is Regal's other kid. I don't know. I don't know where these kids come from because they look nothing like him. Well, Joey Dempsey sort of does, but they're like, anyway, not important. But yeah, I don't know. Like Cal Dixon at least has some size. Like him and Drake could look like a tag team. Anyway, not important. I think also during this, it was effective that they showed Shiloh Hill watching the monitor, but just not him. You don't see the monitor. You just see he's watching it. His arms are crossed. He's serious. It's serious Shiloh.
Studying. Yep.
It's not psycho Shiloh. It's not fun Shiloh. It's just studying, watching Shiloh. And then
student Shiloh.
Then when Harlan comes out, Shiloh's still there watching, and there's a stare down that looked legit. If it was acting, great acting. If it was legit, maybe even better. But that's
all they needed to do. Like sure. I would have, like, to me, it would have been like so fake if they went like, oh, I'm going to beat you up, blah blah blah.
Right, start putting their heads on each other. That forehead, shoving contest.
That would have been bad. Just the look, the intensity of the both guys, and then Arlen just leaving.
Yeah, Paul. Then you keep going about your business.
Exactly. And then Shiloh's looking up, like, it's like he's looking up at, the task ahead and the challenge in front of him and what's going to happen. It's like, yeah, that was the perfect ending. It told the story without any words. And I feel there's not enough of that. Fucking promos are 20 minutes to open a fucking show. You don't need that. Undertaker pointed to the fucking WrestleMania sign and you knew what he meant. That's all he needed to do. Sometimes, like, it's enough. Less is more. And yeah, that was great. And yeah, so really good shit. Like,
so I don't know. They take us to basically a commercial for Houston and Reality of Wrestling, Booker's promotion, without saying we're doing a commercial for Reality of Wrestling. We see Booker, he's with Harlem, and he's taking him into Booker's, clearly his Reality of Wrestling office, he's like, and this is what it's all about. Checks and championships, in his own sort of man cave with all the titles all over and photos. And Harlem's like, yeah, no, I really get it. If you don't think this is the coolest thing in the world, what are you here for? And like, I love that. I love it because it's pro wrestling. Like 99% of the people out there in the world will either say, that's not cool, or, yeah, it looks good, but okay, you're an overgrown child. It's like seeing somebody's anime, collection, or their horror film, movie thing, or their Lego collection. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool for you, dude. Not for me, but okay. But he really felt it. We then got, sort of obligatory comments from Shiloh, Dani, and Panina. And then they showed us the 713 Music Hall, which is where this show was. And what a beautiful facility it was. I mean, they really made it look great. I mean, this was great for like an NXT AEW these days, MLW, that kind of NWA size show. Just a terrific looking venue. And I'm gonna turn it over to you a second, but we see both Harlem Lewis and Shiloh Hill coming to the ring, and it's like they both got off their shift at Outback Steakhouse, because they're like bulky waiters. They're both wearing like black dress, collared neck shirts, with one button open, but so it's like they're ill-fitting on them. One of them you can see like
Bring me a blooming onion. Please bring me a blooming onion.
It looks like the guys from like Chippendales, like they got off their shift at like Outback across the street, at the mall, and then were going to their next job. I just thought it's like when Baron Corbin was like the assistant GM and he looked like a waiter. Silly things like that is what I pay attention to. I just think they're like the rivals. They're dressed basically identically. And I don't know if that was done on purpose. If so, congratulations. Or if it's just how similar these two guys are, even better.
Just to go back a little bit of what you were saying, Booker T says it's not about friendship, and Harlem seems to understand everything. And even Booker is like, when you look at this room, that's when you could say, suckers in the room, in the locker room, follow that. This is what I have. This is like my temples of my achievements or whatever. So that's how Harlem sees it. Like he wants that in his home, like trophies and belts and things that prove that how like he's one of the best. And that's exactly what he wants to do. So he has this room in his head from now on. And, we see Shiloh. He said he promised himself he would get back, to the finals, and he's there. It's where you see like if the whole season was worth it. And it's a lot of weight to put on one match. He says that. He's like, I'm going to win. And I just thought about like that line, a lot of weight to put on one match. And I was like, is it really?
Yeah.
Because how many times we watched a match and it was clear, I'm just thinking about the, I think semifinals where it was Xena versus, or maybe like Xena and Haze. Like Haze was doing such a better job and they picked Xena anyway. And in a match where it was Shiloh and Drake, I felt that Drake was way better in that match. But Taker says, for the long run, right, I'm going to pick Shiloh. So I was like,
they switch whenever it's convenient for them to switch.
Yeah, it's whenever it's convenient. So
it's just different from any other sport. I mean, first of all, it's not, because they saw LFG season 1 and they know that half of the people made it to Evolve or to season 2, and some people are working NXT. So they know it's not one or done. Secondly, that's wrestling, and wrestling, unlike any other, every other sport has a championship, game or series. I guess you can say best of sevens, but that game 7 is one game, the Super Bowl, one game. So to come down to one game, is that, these are athletes, both these guys were competitive football players, D1 or semi-pro or both. So yeah, it's a little strange. I get how it is, but I think the trick about being a main eventer or a top star in these companies is that one match becomes your normal, because it isn't really that one match. Some might be more special. WrestleMania might be more special than Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank or Crown Jewel, but you got to get up for the other ones, and you can't get too in your head about the big ones, because wrestling is 52 weeks a year, episodic television. And while the titles are real, they're really not. It's a sign of confidence and to carry the weight and and all those other good things. But you're right. But then again, at their ages, what are they supposed to say? Maybe they fed them that line. Maybe they really feel that way.
Maybe I don't know if you feel the same way, but when Shiloh was like, I'm going to win, I was like, you're not convincing me. You're not convincing me with whatever you're saying.
Yeah, and this, if anything, was P. Nasty, who said, I'm not going to lie, P. Nasty is nervous. I've never heard her say that before.
Yeah. You know what is good about P. Nasty? She's real. That's why her promos are so good. It's really her talking. She's not, I think she's cranking up her, like how she is to fucking 11, like Stone Cold would. like it was him, but like cranked up to the fucking max. And I think that's how she's, you know, she's wrestling and she's doing her promo. So that's why it works. She talks truth. Like, yeah, she's like, I'm nervous, but you know what? I heard this and you know how it's going to finish. I made everybody look good and I got all the points. And she did. She got all the fucking points.
We all know people who are sweethearts when they're sweethearts, but you know not to cross them because they're badasses. And that's her. You know, she's obviously a sweetheart. She obviously loves her family. She obviously can be a good friend. She clearly, you can see her expression change when she's out of character. But I think she's also a natural badass. And she comes, if she's really related to Anois and the Fatus, she comes from a family of people who they know how to do that. They've been in this business for a while, so they know they need to be real badasses. They probably are, you know, raised to be badasses, but also very, like, I hear from people that Jacob Fatu is the most demure, the most polite person that I've ever met. He's so respectful and and he's absolutely terrifying. You know, the show I had with Mr. Thomas, you know, obviously he's been on most of the shows, and geez, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Big Trouble Ben Bishop, and they were referring to him as Big Jake. Oh no, it must have been another guy from MLW. Maybe it was Alex Kane or Quan. But you know, they're saying, yeah, we were working with Big Jake. Yeah, Big Jake. I'm like, wait, are you talking about Jacob Fatu? They're like, yeah, what else would you call Jacob Fatu? I'm like, sir, Mr. Fatu?
Mr. Fatu.
They maybe hope not to make eye contact so he doesn't come over to me. I don't know what I would call, but I wouldn't call him Big Jake. I mean, but they also call Dijak Big Josh. Kayfabe. Sorry, his name is Josh.
You were talking about the 713 Music Hall. I checked. It's actually like, it's 5,000 people. So it's a good sized venue. Beautiful, as you said. And, you know, they all have to impress Shawn Michaels. He's the man to impress. He's the man making the decision today. The coaches will have their say, but they're not picking whoever wins the contract. So, you know, Shiloh and Dani, like, Taker tells them, like, you know, the enormity of what this is. This is the end or the beginning of the road, depending on how you look at it. Stay aggressive. That's what he says to Dani. Dani, she was born to be a performer. Her whole family is there. Shiloh is like, he says he's on the redemption tour. And Harlem is just focusing on the goal. He wants to win that contract. And from there, like, we go to match one of the finals, which is Dani Segalski versus Panina Twilipa, P-Nasty. Dani, for this one, this is something I didn't like the last two matches she had. Like, you didn't know she was face or heel. She kind of came out, but for this one, super baby face, wearing all white. And, you know,
Penn State, white and dark blue. Yeah. All Nittany Lion.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, she had fire. She was smiling. And P-Nasty, we didn't even see her entrance, but just the way the interaction she had with the camera, and she was giving what was her character, and she was giving intensity just by the look. I like the necklace she was wearing. It had a little something from her culture, but I feel she needs like a jacket and a headpiece, something that makes her even like look bigger than she is. And like when she comes out, I'm thinking about Bull Nakano or Kiro Kudo in Japan, where they had those robes, but they had like, it was either feathers or a collar that was so high, they look like monstrous, like something big was happening. And it's like, it was clear, do not fuck with this person. And that's what she needs.
You know, duster, you know, like a big leather, like overcoat kind of thing.
I would say leather. I don't know if it's overdone. It could, like, it would need to be a color or like patterns, like someone patterns or anything that makes it like different. Like, but
Polynesian, something from her culture to make it culturally appropriate. And I'm sure there's all sorts of ornamental gowns and ceremonial gowns for different occasions that, you know, most of us dummies wouldn't know that's like, you know, a bridesmaid's dress or whatever. We would think it looks badass, or it's for a religious ceremony that nobody's done in 400 years. But still, I'm sure that it's there, and it would look cool. But I get what you're saying.
Well, they have iChief. Do they have like the version of this? Like, because that would be great. Like, she could be High Chief, you know.
Oh, without doubt they do. Yeah.
Oh, you know, that would be great. More than just having what's that thing, Roman Reigns? The freaking
LuFisto.
Yeah. I had Shula in my head, but it's
the plastic red peppers. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like he's a commercial for Chili's more than royalty. And they sort of just forgot about that, didn't they?
I think so.
It was so important for like 5.5 years, and now it's just like,
you know, just eat your Slim Jim.
whatever.
Get your fireball shot, you know, as well while you climb the ladder.
I'll be typecast. I want to be more like John Cena, Batista than The Rock. It was good until it wasn't.
Oh, anyway, let's go into this match. There was an awesome walk-up and the throw, and like Dani was spinning in the air. Like right from the start, it was telling the story, Panina's power, and you know, Dani, she would have to do a lot to beat P Nasty. What I love is P Nasty did not bump when Dani was trying to, you know, wear her down, but Dani was not giving up. She was showing she was fast, and I felt that P Nasty was working a little bit too quick. You know, she went to lift Dani in a corner and almost dropped her. Like, and even Booker noticed that. I'm like, she needs to take her time. Like, she could put one hand underneath her, or, you know, her armpit, the other hand, look at the people, and then, you know, pick her up. So it gives time to Dani to actually place herself, to, you know, push herself the right way so it doesn't look awkward. And because it was too fast, it did look a little bit like weird. But at least she did not drop her. She made it to the rope. And the first bump P Nasty took was Dani, you know, when she hit her from the second rope. Like, she needed an extra leverage to bring the big woman down, which, you know, psychology wise makes sense. She went for a basement drop kick and then a springboard crossbody, but she's so small. You know, P Nasty caught her, the big ring apron bump, and then P Nasty went into the heat. At this point, I felt like P Nasty kind of forgot to work the crowd. That's, you know, she was saying she was nervous. And that's usually what happens when someone's really nervous. They're so focusing on doing the moves right and not forgetting the next spot that they forget to work the crowd between the moves or even during the moves. And I felt that was a big lacking. Her punches should have been a little bit bigger. Taker said it looked too calculated. There was a sloppy crucifix from Dani, but at least P Nasty was able to work with it and finally get her up for a Samoan drop. And Dani was, you know, rolled to the ropes, which showed that the babyface was, you know, the babyface is smart. Your babyface was never look stupid. What bothered me about this spot though is Dani looked smart and P Nasty looked kind of like a fool or stupid because she went for a cover so close to the rope. It was not far enough where Dani just, you know, had to stretch her leg to put her feet on the rope to break the cover. It was right next to it. P Nasty should have at least pull her or something. It made her look just, I don't know. It's to me. Yeah, it's
like Doc Gallows in most of his matches.
I'm not a fan.
Neither am I, obviously.
Anyway.
Sorry if you're listening, Doc. Working personal. You're still working.
Well, when someone's wrestling, you don't grab their shit and put them on the floor because you want their spot. Locker room? Well, yeah. Anyway, long story.
But a good one.
Oh,
I think you got all the essentials in.
Pretty much. You know, just be a good human being. Don't be a dick. Whoever you are, rich, famous, poor, you know, don't be an asshole. That is all. That's
all the good advice.
Yes. So then he fights back with good gut punches, you know, but she's stopped by a huge knee. There's a little quick double down where Dani attacks P Nasty's knee, which I thought was kind of late in the match. They were looking at the mat at this point. I felt like I was like, are they lost? It felt like something was happening there. And they went into a tornado, like a sloppy tornado DDT. Like it didn't look really good. And an awkward frog splash. So, and even like Booker was like, fuck on the splash. So, finally, P. Nasty was looking at the crowd, telling them it was over, grabbed Dani by the throat, and she lost time talking shit, which is a good way for a heel not to look stupid, but waste too much time so the babyface can recover from whatever happened before. So, choke slam into the Hell's Gate. She picks Dani up, tries to fight, but Dani doesn't let go. Great babyface move where the babyface never gives up. John Cena made his fucking career over it, and he made a lot of money, and she even tried, like P. Nasty tries to even use the ropes, but she crumbles again. She tries to get out, but then it's too much. She has to tap out. And, that was it. 1, 2, 3. I think, do you want to comment the match before I go, like, my overall comment about this fight?
Yeah, I'm going to even back up a little bit further because you covered a lot of stuff really well, but I thought when Taker noted that his contestants, he said that Shiloh had an eerie calm about him. And I agree, that's eerie because with Shiloh, you don't know what that means. And he said that Dani was really wound up, which is probably what she needs to be, though maybe not so much. From all the contestants, we all heard them say the same things in different words repeatedly, so it's not important. I definitely know that Dani came out in full pep rally face mode, which I think was perfect, really into that cheerleading thing. Went with a more, less Tennessee Titan, which is a more regional thing, especially Houston and Tennessee. They lost teams. The Tennessee Titans were the Houston Oilers, so probably a smart move. I don't know if it was calculated not to go with the Nittany Lions, Penn State, because if anything, probably a neutral for Houston. P. Nasty came in with, I felt that her entrance was a little bit more explosive to her usual entrance. She put a little more energy and oomph into it, which I thought was really good. And the match opened up and she was tossing Dani around like a rag doll, which I thought was good as well. I really liked both Dani's drop kicks and Panina's selling of working the gut. Dani wasn't trying to drop kick her thighs, her knees, her head, it was the gut, even to the oblique, to the side of the gut. And that kept happening. And that was smart. P. Nasty definitely seemed a little rushed. It was definitely, I call it a mini botch because it wasn't that big a deal. Mm-hmm. Maybe the timing is the difference between a major botch and a mini botch. But even the coaches in the back at that point said, ooh, bad timing there. And I typed, of course, Lou, who was off. So you probably mentioned, but Lou, who was off?
Who was off? On which one?
The mini botch when I thought it was P. Nasty rushing, and I think it was P. Nasty that was off. But this would be after the drop kick sequence to the gut.
That's the part where I said like they kind of seem lost.
Yeah, and like almost like stumbling over each other a little bit.
Yeah, I it's really hard to know, like, because they were both looking at each other. So it was like, it felt like the deer in the headlight moment where like both opponents don't know where the fuck they're at. And then suddenly like one of them goes like, oh, it's the tornado DDT. And they went into it like quickly and it didn't look good.
Yeah.
So I felt like maybe it was both of them at the same time. Like deer in the headlights, like, oh, what?
Yeah, tornado DDT should be like it comes out of it should be a reversal. It should be a counter, not something that comes out of nowhere. Anyway. Yeah. Dani was still punching and working the legs. Again, she did that drop kick straight to the obliques, which I thought was cool. I said that all right. Mm-hmm. Dani seemed to be slipping a bit, like her footwork, she was slipping, but she had instant recovery. So that was both bad and good. She never fell down. She never fell off the rope. So, that was good. She should watch that. Maybe it was the footwork, maybe new boots. I don't know. At some point, Booker and Bubba were noticeably unhappy with Dani's fall. From my eyes, I didn't really notice anything different, but I'm an amateur. You're a professional. Did you share their sort of fear and angst?
I did, because like I felt they worked really well, the big versus small. That worked. Like it was clear, like who was the power, who was the quick connects, who was the heel, who was the face. So this was established just right from the entrance and the moves they were doing, and P Nasty not falling, but then Dani bumping as soon as there was contact from P Nasty. But I felt the overall match was pretty average. It had no excitement. They would forget to work the characters. Like even Taker says, it started really good. It ended okay, but the middle was a little meh. Like they got too excited. I felt like they got scared. They were looking at the map, not looking at the crowd, trying to wonder what was the next spot, rushing into things. I was really disappointed about this match. I will say I was expecting a lot more. So, hearing Booker swearing and Taker shaking his head and Bubba is like...
You weren't surprised. Okay.
No, I felt the exact same way. There was good stuff in there, but overall, it was not a great match. It was okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
So, for my semi-untrained eyes or semi-trained eyes, I mean, I agree. It started really well. I thought that the choke slam being defended into a Hell's Gate was really good. I like that P Nasty powered up and attempted to slam her way out of it, but Dani maintained the Hell's Gate. That was really good. But then that wasn't it. P Nasty tried to alter her body to turn that into a pinning predicament, which I think is smart and is smart for a big wrestler. You don't expect that from a big wrestler. But Dani reversed her body and into a place where P Nasty had to ultimately tap for a win. So I thought the end sequence was really good. I agree the middle was anything to write home about. I don't share the disappointment that you, Booker, Bubba, and Taker do, but obviously you guys know better what to look at. I mean, I guess from the audience perspective, I represent them, but I'm not sure I'm really typical of the audience, because despite watching wrestling for a really long time, the wrestling itself is sort of like the least important part of wrestling to me. I was also lost because we saw both their families, and Dani's father and mother and sister were there, and her sister has the exact goddamn face as Dani. I mean, the only difference is she's like about 5 inches taller. Otherwise, I would have thought they were identical twins. I mean, the same face. So I'm like figuring that's got to be a mother, but she's so young looking. Then I see over that there's an older woman with her, but they're so young. For all I know, it could have been her grandmother. Not that she looks particularly old, but I can't really tell ages any longer. And I just know too young around my age. That's like sort of that's like the as and high school through college looks the same to me. Anything under that looks like a complete child, and anything after that is like, I still think that I look 35, which of course I don't, but that's how we fool ourselves, Homer Simpson style. Anyway, and then we saw P Nasty's family as well, which of course we've seen her dad before and all that. But I don't know. I didn't think this match didn't set the world on fire, but I didn't think that the men's match that we saw before between Drake and Harlem was so much better. It was better, but I almost always like a men's match and a Haas match over a women's match. But I see what you're all coming from, but I didn't react as strongly as you all did to it. But anyway, Dani got the win. So, I guess then we can, I think it went straight to another match before we heard from the coaches and the judges. And
yeah, I mean, like, the important things in wrestling is that, like, I see it a certain way and other wrestlers will look at it another way. But as long as the fans enjoy what they saw and they were into it, really, the rest is things to work on to become better and, a better performer, better actor, better whatever you need to work on as a wrestler. Is it the character, whatever? But I mean, as a fan, if you enjoyed it, that's great because, that's what matters. It's the people paying fucking high prices now. Yeah. They make them happy as like, they shouldn't really, like, they have to care about the comments that, like, I'm making in Bubba, whatever, so they can get better and have better matches and push themselves as athletes. But if the fans are, happy, hey, yes. And yeah, honestly, we go into Shiloh versus Harlem really quickly. As Taker Taker goes like, as the old JR would say, this is going to be a slaughter. And, right from the entrance, like Harlem looks menacing. He looks at the fans in the eyes on the way to the ring. Like he's making sure, like, I could kill you. This is real to me. And I love this, having high contact with the fans, with your opponent, with the referee. It had so much more without saying anything. You look like a fucking killer. And he did right there. So great job there. Shiloh, I was like, why is he doing a fucking rap dance? And what the fuck is this shitty, terrible song? Oh my God. I felt like I died a little. How can you kill a fucking character like right from the start? Who the fuck picked this song? I was like, is it fucking Def Rebel? What the fuck is this? I'm like, oh my God. Like, he's really charismatic and you want to fucking go on a ride with him, but
doesn't it? Did it spoil the result? Didn't you know he was winning as soon as he got shitty Def Rebel music?
Probably. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is
the music sucked. The music sucked.
I was like, how to kill, like, we've been saying how much he looked like he was fucking Bray Wyatt's son. Give him something like, I don't know, weirdish but since he's a babyface.
And they call him Dark Web Shiloh Hill, so give him darker music. I know he's supposed to be the face in this match, but that doesn't matter. People like dark music. They love Aleister Black's music. I mean, so.
Hey, he's coming out with a smile. He's looking at people with a smile. He's a babyface, all right? But don't use this song. Oh my God.
I mean, like a little Rob Zombie, more human than human, would work for this guy.
As Jim Cornette would say, I was like, this is fucking terrible.
That said, Shiloh, I think, came out looking very comfortable. He did his normal routine. Yes. He looked happy. He was playing to the crowd. His timing is impeccable, and he's a great contrast. He looks like he's having fun without being frivolous, which is a great contrast to Harlem Lewis. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to be myself. And Harlem Lewis is like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to stare daggers into you the entire time.
So they had a strong lockup, and, right away, like the heel pushing his forearm in the baby face, like to kind of push. I love that. It is so heelish to put your forearm and anyway, if it happens to you, if somebody grabs you, if you put your forearm underneath the nose of someone, it really fucking hurts for real. There's something there, like a mini bone or whatever. It hurts. So when the heel is like pushing, using the forearm as I love that. It's a little something more that adds a lot. And Harlem, Harlem was talking loud. He had solid strikes. Look a lot better than the previous match with Drake.
Yes.
Shiloh at one point looked at him and my God, it was like Mark Hamill's Joker's laugh. It's like, okay. It's like, but yeah, you're like kind of crazy cool, but you have a shitty song. Fuck. Okay. He was working the crowd. He was looking at them. He had solid shot. And you could see right away, Shiloh's like an agile big man, cannonball to the outside, from the apron, looked good. Harlem catched him in a safe way. The cutoff was such a great back elbow and rolled up to the outside. And then he started the heat. I love that Harlem, the more people were talking shit to him and boo, whatever. It felt like he was embracing the hate. I was like, this is a heel. He went for a nice gut wrench backbreaker into a running boot that, oh my God, Taker goes well, he's going to need to send flowers for that one. I was talking about innovative offense. That was more stuff new from Harlem that he was doing. And I love this. He went into a half Nelson into a backbreaker and, he was kind of barking and intense and he was hitting himself, kind of get motivated. it was like little things that he had in this match that made his character so much complete, like a lot more. Like it was like, oh, he's almost there, like really. And even like if his moves were cool, he was not selling it as they were cool. Like he still look heel. Sometimes there's like going to be like heels that are going to do like super cool moves, and they let people fucking clap them. Seth Rollins, for example. Okay. Exactly. Like you're supposed to fucking, if you do a fucking like
crowning dual champion, Seth Rollins.
Oh, Lord. Real quick.
Look, if only this was a video show, folks, and you could see her face.
We should do a video. Really. You've been teasing me for 2 months.
This is not my show.
What happens? What happens if Seth Rollins loses? Oh, Becky's going to take over. And Paul Heyman keeps telling him, don't decide.
I have a feeling if you told the boys to put this on this YouTube with the video function, that it could happen. I mean, I mean, I do delete the Zooms after a while, but I keep them long enough that I could send them.
Why? He wins. So all this was for nothing. Thank you. Yeah. Fuck you. Anyway, the match
wins for something.
Hey, yeah. Going back to wherever before I say John Cena should have been in the main event. Thank you. And JJ Styles. Okay, let's go back to, we see, there's a hope spot where Harlem goes for a suplex, rolls into a small package and duck a line into a neck breaker. And then out of nowhere, there was like no comeback. That was like a mini thing going on here with the duck line neck breaker. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah. It's like he's doing the RKO out of nowhere, neck breaker out of nowhere.
Yeah, but even like Randy Orton, before he hits the hard KO, he's going to bump the guy a few times. Boom, boom, boom. Get the crowd into it. Right. Maybe try something. He's going to get fucked up. He's going to kick out something, duck, whoop. Then the RKO. This whole part where the babyface is due, the comeback was not in this match. It was like, oh, we gotta go home. We gotta go home. I was like,
okay, so I'm gonna start at the back of my notes here, just because I literally typed neck breaker finish - not exactly out of nowhere ? So we both had the same thing. All right, back to the back. Harlem came out like a killer. Shiloh comfortable. Once again, I noted that Harlem was better on the outside of the ring than the inside of the ring. Not that he's bad on the inside of the ring, but I had a question for you, because when they were outside, the coaches, I don't know if they were being dramatic, but they're saying, ooh, they're going to have a mark for that. There's the receipt right there. Did you see anything that was legitimately too stiff? Because I honestly can't tell anymore.
It was snug, but it was not. They're snug and they're stiff. Snug, you're going to feel it, but it's not going to hurt you in a way where the next day you're going to be injured. Stiff is something where like, fuck, like I still feel it the next day. I can't eat because my jaw's hurting so much. No, they were snug. They were laying him in like Sheamus style, like Rusev style. Like it's fucking solid, but nobody's going to get injured from that.
That's what I thought.
Might have a little bruise, but nothing serious. Like they were
exaggerating. They were being dramatic.
Yeah. But it looked great. So yeah, they're selling it this way because it looked real. It looks like they're fucking fighting, but
that's what I like.
They were,
the style I like.
That's exactly like Gunther. That's the style I like as well. I want to believe that this is fucking legit. And I believe that they were doing a great job. So, and even if the coach are like, yeah, no, that's fucking looks good. Then fuck, they're doing a great job. Yeah, no.
I don't mean Nikita Koloff couldn't wrestle. Yes, he could. Shut up. Anyway. So before we get to it, also, Chris, I type it because it's on the record that nobody can see except me, is that I typed, I give it to Shiloh. And so I gave it to Shiloh. So then we see Shawn with the legends, and they start with the advocacy for the women because the legends.
Can I just mention something from the Shiloh match?
You are the host.
You give it to Shiloh, right? Mm-hmm. And I felt that Shiloh got intense. He was really intense on the way out of the match, and I felt it was too little, too late. I felt there's a part of the match where he was kind of following, but not that he was not, because he was selling, but I felt like if you compare the intensity Harlem was giving you to Shiloh's, it's like, so much more from the other guy. And I really felt Harlem did the match. Everything Harlem did was,
I think the end did it for me. Like, I think that like they should have known it was too abrupt. And even if you're like, would have really killed him to pick him up and give him the brain buster, which he's done before, and use that as a finisher. Like, it takes 7 more seconds. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, or try a pin with his neck breaker, doesn't work, then hits this, then it works. Like he has to use something else because Harlem is so tough. So yeah, the end was too abrupt, something missing, fire from the babyface. At least him trying to pin Harlem doesn't work. Fuck, finally gets it. Yes, babyface wins. Too out of nowhere and not in a good way, like a RKO. And even that, like I said, a RKO, Randy works the words is RKO. He attempts it, gets pushed, something happens, and then finally he gets it.
It's not always exactly out of nowhere. A lot of times he spends a lot of time on his knees pounding the mat 3 times beforehand. Yeah. Or he's outside the ring and he gives the crowd a knowing look and then he slides in really quickly and does it. Yeah, I mean, of course, Randy Orton is one of the best of all time. Yeah. I mean, if he's not in everybody's top 25, you really don't know what you're talking about. But I think, if Shiloh's going to do this thing out of nowhere, it should be more out of nowhere and be protected as such. Or, if you want to do it like Cody Rhodes does the 3 crossroads, let him do 3 of them. And that takes the guy out of it. I'm not opposed to repeating the same move if that's your move, if that's what you think it's going to take to beat up the big bad guy. But I did give it to Shiloh. I think most of it's because I still think Harlem is a little bit one-dimensional in the ring, and he's too good outside of the ring compared to how he is inside the ring. That can't be noticeable. You should be able to work both, and he will. I'm a big Harlem fan. I was a fan of his in Evolve. The first time I saw him, I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy, and now 30. Probably 30. Well, it was just episode 32 of Evolve. So 32 weeks later, I still do. So that's good. Anyway, Show the Legends, they're advocating as opposed to judging. Bubba gave it to Dani. He thought that she had the most full package and had improved the most. Booker gave it to Panina. She definitely wrestles the Booker style. Michelle gave it to her student, her team member, Panina. Not outrageous. And Taker gave it to his team member, Dani. Then Shawn used he thinks that, we need someone who can fit into NXT right now. And you and I talked about this last week. Exactly.
Right now.
And we both agreed that Panina fits a slot right now.
Right now. Yep.
So I'm not saying Dani didn't earn it. I definitely feel like Dani earned it. But if the context and the criteria is, who is something new and different that you don't have right now, then it should have been Panina by his own rule. And I'm not advocating for this, but by his own rule, Panina fit the bill. They have Thea Hale. They have Kendall Gray. They have like undersized women who wrestle like they're not undersized women. So I like Dani. I thought we both like Dani. Liked her whole time. I'm the one who was wondering why Panina was so dominant. I didn't think that she was so much better than anyone else. I have no problem with Dani winning. I want everyone to get it twisted, but by Shawn's criteria, he made the wrong call.
I think so too. Because, one thing that Michelle mentioned, and I was like, yes, that's exactly why it should have been Panina. She's unique. She has a presence, but she has consistency.
Yep.
Like all her matches were okay to good. And Dani there's some matches where we were like, not looking at the crowd. Is she heel? Is she face? I don't know what the fuck was going on. And there's some she did really good, like the luchador spot and whatever.
That was fun.
So, but I felt when you talk about, being unique, presence, and consistency, there was like no one else than Penina. And she had all the points for a reason. And right now, like you said, there's tons of people like Dani, but big girls that can move. There's Lash Legends. And once in a while, they're going to bring Nia Jax, but she's
Yeah.
And they just lost Piper Niven.
Yeah.
They need bigger women right now. Right the fuck now. Tomorrow. Right tonight if there's a fucking show. And they pick the little girl that looks like everybody else. And that you mentioned, some of them are already
And she's
way better.
but she's not Alexa Bliss or Liv Morgan hot. You know, it's like, so again, deserving. I just don't really get it.
And Liv Morgan is such a character. Like, what made Liv Morgan is how she finally found the fucking character.
Yeah.
Because she was terrible in the fucking Riot Squad. This whole fucking thing was fucking dismal. Fake. Yeah. And after, when she was by herself and she had little eyes crying, I'm like, dude, like, you're not like, and finally when she became a heel and she was like, I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I love Liv Morgan, but yeah, they have Liv Morgan already and she's fucking great. And she's going to come back at Royal Rumble.
Right. And they've got Roxanne Perez also. I mean, they've, like I said, they've got, so, you know, P Nasty though, in her outro, excellent. She goes, I ain't Cinderella. I don't need a perfect ending. You know, that perfect P Nasty.
Great quote. Great quote.
Great quote. And damn right, you're not and you don't, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And, you know, Shawn goes like, again, like just to go back on his decision, he goes, I need someone who can step in right now with the women's division. And like, if we're looking at the last match, most of Dani's big moves were very sloppy. The crucifix was sloppy. The frog splash was sloppy. The tornado DDT, I'm like,
Hell's Gate takes a little bit too much to put on, and she doesn't really get it on all the way. She doesn't quite get the figure four. Yeah.
I was like, you're saying something, but then the decision is completely different to what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it was the same fucking thing for the men. He did the same fucking thing for the men. So, you know, speaking of Harlem Lewis and Shiloh Hill, Taker goes, you know, because he took every advantage, like he took advantage of every occasion. He's so intense. And, you know, the match was intense. They were both opposite, worked well, but I got to go with Shiloh. So he picks his guy. And I think Taker, right from the beginning, he wanted Shiloh in the finals. Like, I don't even think he even thought about Drake becoming so good. So, yeah, I think it was, his mind was made from the start, which was like, because we saw Shiloh having bad matches and he picked him anyway. And it was like, no.
He pulled a Bubba and Xena, except for Taker bet better, but Taker also, let's face it, he has more influence over other people than Bubba does.
He's also, the way I wouldn't say protect, but the way he pushes Shiloh is more subtle than Bubba and Xena calling her the meal ticket. So maybe that's why, like, but yeah.
He's less carny.
He's less carny.
He's more like the guy behind, for a guy who's 6'8", he's like the guy behind the curtain, you know, he's like the quiet, sinister voice behind whispering into ears.
Yeah. And
he's the Shawn Whisperer.
So we go to his lovely wife, Michelle. She says, both are ready. Harlem scares me. Mm-hmm. He's believable. He's intense. And therefore she chooses Harlem. Bubba is like, it's really a tie, but Harlem could use more time and to learn how to communicate better with his fellow worker, which he feels Shiloh can do at this moment. So he picks Shiloh.
I actually agree with that.
It makes sense.
I think Bubba has a lot of good insights into when he's not being Team Bubba. He has a lot of, even sometimes then too, but when he's not being.
No, he's really smart. He has a great fucking brain for this, and he's pretty much on the money on this one.
Yeah, for someone who, like, you know, a lot of people from a certain company criticize a lot, if they actually hired him internally to take the pencil,
my God,
they'd actually have a much better show.
Well, things would start to make sense if Bubba was in charge, but they don't want someone to tell them what to do. So, hey.
Well, there's a he
But
who
yeah,
doesn't want to
someone
tell them
hire
what to do.
Bubba, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Because the them has rotated to an extent, but there's only one him. I don't know. You've had, yeah, that's a different show. Leave that to Lish and Joey.
I'm probably overdue to talk.
I know, really. I haven't had enough me. I'm nobody. Who cares about me?
Stop it. So Booker goes, Shiloh did a great job, but Harlem is intense. The look on his face. He learns quickly. So he picks Harlem. So it's a tie when it comes to the coaches. It's true for Harlem.
Both men and women. Ooh.
Both men and women.
Surprise.
Ooh, I know. Oh. Harlem says like he's almost like feeling uncomfortable, waiting for the decision. Like and Shiloh, he's more nervous than all the matches he had like put together. So Shawn raves about the development of Harlem that he had, how better he became in such a short time.
He said the crowd gasps when he comes out.
Yeah. Yes, that's the word he used. And then that's fucking something special. He goes, people are intimidated. He's one scary of a bitch, which means he's money. Money. And what does TKO want?
Money. Lots and lots of money.
What's the Shane McMahon song like?
Now the money.
Here comes the money.
Money.
Karaoke is our next show. No, it's I can sing Dusty Rhodes song pretty good and vintage WCW Rick.
And I can dance like Vince McMahon in Land of a Thousand Dances.
Oh, wonderful.
I've actually, if I tried that, like every part of my spine would be in 17 different directions.
In bed for a week.
At least like a Plutonian week.
So looks at Shiloh. He's put in the time. He's put in the effort. He has grown a lot, and but looking at both of them, he needs someone that he can plug in right now. And here's where I'm confused. He's like, I could plug in, there's nobody that as intimidating as Harlem. And he goes but Shiloh is pretty crazy looking when he wants to.
Yeah. He said he's pretty damn crazy too. Pretty great, damn crazy looking. He says, you're right. And then you could tell he's lying because he looks away from the camera and from both guys and awards it to Shiloh.
Yep.
Now,
and I'm like, you just raved about how great, unique, and fucking different, and how much money is Harlem Lewis. You give it to Shiloh. What the fuck? I was like, oh, but he's pretty crazy looking. It's like, oh, I had made my mind before because that's what I wanted from this fucking season. Here you go. I was like, when I was talking about Festivus, that's what I mean. I'm like, dude, and what kind of...
I am glad that I'm several hundred miles away from you right now.
And no, but it upsets me because it's something that I've lived before where someone says like, you're so good, your money, everything you do, you're perfect. But hey, I'm going to sign her. And hey, she's going to have the opportunity. And you're like, what's wrong with me? You just told me I'm fucking perfect. What do I need to work on?
In defense of Shawn, I want to give a little defense to Shawn. One, Shiloh has the crazy eyes, the crazy face. He is, I think, mentally, he's more mature and more grounded than Harlem is. I think that's important if you're going to put someone on TV right away. Harlem, they're sending him to Noah. They haven't given up on him. I also think Shiloh's like 6'4" or 6'5". If you look at NXT, there's a few big guys. Most of them are sort of Obafemi, Cyrus Griffin. Twerk Williams has got himself to be jacked. It's like they have like they have a really nice Jasper Troy. They have a really nice continuity because but most of them aren't. Like even like Tavion Heights isn't that big. Charlie Dempsey is a little guy. Miles Bourne is a little guy. The D'Angelo family hasn't been seen. Not that I believe in stacks, but I think the Nico could be something. I don't know where Tony D'Angelo is. I figure they're making a new character for him on the main roster. Long overdue, but he's also not a tall guy. They don't have another like 6'4", 6'5", frankly, white guy. You need to have a white guy on wrestling, because there's a lot of white people that watch wrestling too. And everyone likes to see themselves. And I know on the main roster, it's been mostly white and Samoan dominated for a long time. But in NXT, I mean, Alfred Konoa calls it NXT Africa. Yeah. And so,
and you know what? It's great. It's about time, because there was not enough.
Agreed.
Not enough. And fuck, they're great athletes. I was like,
but they need to.
It doesn't fucking matter what color they are, but you need fucking.
It sort of does. You need.
It does.
You need a variety show. You need
a variety. You
all
need everything. You need someone that when somebody's sitting in front of their TV, they can relate to and say, I want to be like him because he's like me or she's like me. That's very important. When I say color doesn't matter, I mean, in terms of talent, they're good. Fucking go ahead, like do something with them. But yeah, you need fucking culture. It makes the show interesting. It makes
absolutely.
It makes it like colorful, but not in terms of skin color, but of different cultures,
different music, different approaches.
Yes.
The other thing about Shiloh is that he has a really good social media presence. He has more followers on X than any of the other LFG or Evolve people by far, because he makes content, he makes original content. He's got that game down. Like he's like someone like Drew McIntyre, who you can just say, I trust you with social media content. Just do your thing, kid. Yeah. So he's developed a following like outside of wrestling, beyond wrestling, just because he's so interesting and like he's got such a personality. So, he's more of a ready-made television thing, and he does fit a spot and a size that they need.
This is something Shawn should have said. Because here's the thing. He kept like saying how great Harlem was, but he didn't tell me why Shiloh is so great.
Yeah, no, he just skipped to it. I think he was afraid that Harlem might hit him.
Maybe. But if you choose Shiloh, you got to tell me why as a viewer. You just told me how Harlem is fucking amazing, intimidating. There's no one like him. He's money. But then, to Shiloh, I'm like, wow. Okay, so you made up your...
We made up on a very superficial, but less superficial than before standpoint. On the main roster, on people who are between 5'9" and 6 feet tall, and between 240 and like 275, you have both Usos, their younger brother Solo, Jacob Fatu, you have Braun Breaker, you have Rusev, Ridge Holland is somewhere around. You have like all of these guys that basically fit the same body type and are basically
here's the thing though. They need something for NXT.
Right.
Not main roster right now. So it's just I felt that, and I'm not saying Shiloh's not deserving, because you just gave me a bunch of reasons why he is.
Yeah.
Like cause he's a great guy. He's very present, online. He's already mastering, how to get along and how to get like loved by the WWE universe. These are really important points why it's him. But when Shawn says why he picks Shiloh, he doesn't explain why, but he tells me how great Harlem is. So I felt that was kind of shitty. And
basically gave him a full body massage and then threw him out the back door.
Exactly. It's like, okay, now get the fuck out. And that's what bothered me.
Yeah.
If it's Shiloh, I mean, you're the boss. You want people to understand how it's hard to become a WWE wrestler superstar, and the work behind it, because the more you explain, there's one thing since I was involved in a bunch of documentaries lately involving wrestling, and people who do not watch wrestling are amazed by the work that is needed to get through a match.
Right.
People didn't know the secrets, but now that they're out and when they're explained to them and they see how, you got to put a match together within 10 minutes. And then what's your move? And you just go out there and you do it and you have a character and your gear and everything. It's so much work, and people are appreciating wrestling so much more when they know this, because it's not a clown show. It's not two guys or girls beating the shit out of each other because they're stupid and they can't do anything else in life. There's a lot of work and things to think about. And, when you have a show like this, that's the thing you need to show people. Why, only a few are chosen? Why is it, because it goes with who do you need now for what? And what do they bring to the table? There's a lot of things you told me I didn't know about Shiloh because nobody freaking told me during NXT.
Yeah.
And, hey, Shiloh, you've grown so much from season 1 to 2. Okay, how? He's better at working at the crowd. He's been better at promos. He's good online. He's got a good attitude. But since we see nothing of the training and nothing of what's going on, we don't know these things.
Well,
and
season 3 producers, call us. We have some thoughts to make it a more entertaining TV show.
Not only it's more entertaining, but it brings more respect to the craft of being a professional wrestler when you show how fucking hard it is. And, why did you choose Shiloh? Because he checks this, fucking 20 boxes.
Right.
And Shiloh and Harlem right now is at 15.
Right.
You need to explain Harlem. No, he's good. I completely agree with everything Shawn Michaels said about him. And that he got better, and Booker says he's always intense. You look at his face, he learns quickly. Michelle says, I'm scared of him. And that's something special when a wrestler can project fear to the fucking crowd. It's special. So
Especially an insider, especially someone who's married to The Undertaker.
But I thought it was great that she said that. It's important when wrestling is about making people feel things. And if this guy, just by coming out and looking at you you fear for your life, Tony Khan. No, sorry, I just had to think about it. Right there's something special about him. And I feel like my frustration is just it's about the whole show.
Well, Houston, you had a problem, and that's why they're calling this the Houston screw job, and it continues. It may be not to the extent of reality, but it gets worse because Shawn addresses the coaches, and he awards the LFG championship to Michelle, who maybe had more points than Undertaker, I don't know, but when both of your team members win, and 3 out of the 4 people who have won are Team Taker, how does he not win that championship? And why did they stop showing us the captain points, if this is up? So, and poor Undertaker is making this face I'm never going to hear the end of this. But this is not about boys rule, girls drool to me. I mean, if both people from your team win and one of your students was basically in the semifinals as well, and there might have been more, I mean, you win when 2 out of 4 of your members win, you win the competition. That's how it goes. You win championships. In the NFL, if a team goes 14-2 but loses the Super Bowl, the team that won 12-4 and wins the Super Bowl still won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I think.
I think they need to rework the point system, and I feel they need judges that are not the fucking coaches. They need, I don't know, Biggie. Have Biggie be a judge. Have, Charlotte Flair. Have fucking people who've done this for a while. Or William Regal. Have fucking William Regal be a judge. Or why not using Matt Bloom? Or, Brookside. Have the other coaches
Yeah.
You can give the points. Don't vote for your own fucking things.
Yeah. You're not getting 100,000. You're not getting like 300,000 people watching it just because The Undertaker's on. You're getting 100,000 viewers, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. But clearly having these all-stars as your coaches doesn't matter. The show is going to attract 70 to 120,000 viewers on average. So you don't need Undertaker for this. Let him work on AAA. Why he's doing AAA, I don't quite get, but let him do his thing. You know, Bubba, fine. Booker, I find Booker to be amusing. You can never sell me on too much Booker. You know, Michelle was fine. Bring Mickey James back. Why not? I mean, but you're right. Why not have have rotating judges? Like there's two judges.
Why not two girls and two guys?
Yeah.
Why not half and half?
Right. Yeah, and why not pair them with people who you have Titus O'Neil out there doing things, you have Big E doing things, put them in there. You have Mickey James on the sideline so she can be with Bubba or whomever.
How about here's one Medusa Michelli.
Medusa, great.
My God, why Jacqueline Moore still, and you know who's a coach? Molly Holly. What the fuck? No, Molly Holly and Medusa Michelli. These are your two female coaches.
I mean, I will assume that maybe some of these folks are actually too busy with their duties at the performance center that they can't also do this. But Medusa's available. I'm ready to go. Ivory's still around. Miss Ivory's still around. I mean,
they're all of famers.
Yeah.
Oh, Jazz, please do something with Ben. Please put her in the fucking
LuFisto's still around. I mean, she'll have to find me a new co-host, but she's still around. Or maybe make the show internal WWE. Just saying.
I have no problem with Michelle winning in a way that I felt throughout the whole season. She had good contestants. I'm thinking about P Nasty. I'm thinking about Anthony Luke and people that they could have win this, like both Penina and Anthony. I feel Anthony Luke should be on TV tomorrow. I hope they don't put him on LFG3. He should be on NXT fucking now. Fucking now. Don't
or at least Evolve. Just fast track him. Something.
NXT. He's NXT material. He's ready right now. He has the fucking face. He has the moves. He places himself for the next move. He understands where he needs to be.
Or if you're not ready to put him on NXT yet, loan him to TNA.
Yes.
And work TNA and AAA and learn some different styles, work with some different people and show what you got, and then come to NXT in 7 months when Oba and Trick are on the main roster. Yeah.
They even sent Natty to NWA. Hey, have him go work Murdoch, Latimer. Right. There's a lot of Harrons, Mike Knox. There's a lot of guys who can teach him a lot of stuff at NWA. Fuck, there's
EC3. I know people don't like EC3, but he knows how to wrestle.
Yeah, and I mean that would be I feel that would be great for Anthony Luke. I would almost feel fucking sad for him if he's on LFG3.
Oh yeah, no, he shouldn't be. I agree with you. Not LFG3. I mean,
oh god,
and NXT he's deserving of NXT. Yeah. Let's say that for sure. And I feel the same way about P Nasty, and I sort of feel like Drake Morreau doesn't need to be fooling around on this shit anymore either. Like if he's in Evolve, I don't think it's a big insult, but bring
new people next.
Yeah, I don't want to see the same people over and over. Listen, if Cutler James can be on NXT, Drake Morreau can be on NXT.
You know what? I watch NXT, and some of the names you're mentioning, I don't even remember because
he's the white guy in Dark State. That makes it easy.
Oh, okay. He's BJ Ray's.
Yeah, he's the guy who supplanted BJ Ray, and they apparently hate each other.
I was pissed about him in the other thing.
He's the guy that for 6 weeks would make awkward ass innuendos, and then they stopped doing that because they realized it was stupid and juvenile, and you stop making jokes like that after 40-year-old virgin, unless you're on Family Guy, and then it's okay. Anyway.
People.
So,
yes,
Luke,
that was.
this might be the end of season 2, but it's not the end for us because we are going to do a retrospective with Dr. Gina Posan, who's going to, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she will correct me before this. And we will do one more show with a retrospective to see how our dime store psychology as to the headspaces of the contestants and the coaching methods of the coaches matches with actual psychology. So hopefully we'll record that at some point this week. We'll figure that out. So you'll get 2 shows, hopefully within like a 10-day period, if not sooner from us. And after that, I don't know when LFG season 3 starts, but there's been other talk about you and I, because apparently people like you and I as a team, probably mostly you, and they just tolerate me.
And
people, if you like the show, we'd like to know. We'd like to know. Comment somewhere.
we really would like to know. And if you like her more, that's okay. I like her more too.
Would you like us to do video? Once in a while, maybe.
Yeah.
Speaking of video, hey, subscribe to the Wrestling Suit Network. Go to their YouTube, push the little button, give them a tons. Subscribe to their Patreon, give love to her friend Mish, Joe Numbers, and White Chocolate, and all these wonderful people out there, including us. And you can follow me on X at LuFisto, Facebook.com/LuFisto. Follow Women's Wrestling Syndicate. I'm going to start posting matches from our last show pretty soon. And I have other socials, but it doesn't really matter. There's too many. I'm not going to bother you with this. I'm just going to say, I just saw yesterday the movie Lunatic, the Luna Vachon Story. Please go out of your way to find a way to see this. It is a must see. It's from Canadian producer. She's from Vancouver. She's a former wrestler, Kate Crow. It is absolutely, it's like people were crying in the fucking.
Sounds like a good guess for the Garden of Thought.
That would be. And I mean, it's such a great movie that shows what women had to go through in the years before the evolution, quote unquote, started, and the difficulties. And it's also a story about dealing with mental health and, taking medication, not taking it, being bipolar up and down and not controlling what you're doing. It's heavy, but it's definitely a must see. In there you see, and it was filmed before it happened, but Kevin Sullivan's in there. Butcher Vachon is in there. You'll see also Dave Heat, Gangrel. Great stuff. Honestly, go see Lunatic. Find a way. Lunatic, the Luna Vachon Story. She deserves all the love, and her story, it deserves to be known. And
as we learn of ways that you can see the movie, we'll promote that on our social.
I'll try to post where you can see it. Yeah. And Lunatic, the Luna Vachon Story by Kate Cole.
Okay, well, I feel sort of trivial following that, but if you want to follow me on the X at dose_evo, my podcasts are called Garden of Thought. I would really like it if you would subscribe. I would love it if you would listen. But if you don't want to listen, but you just want to show me a little artificial support, download it. And there's a little button on Apple, probably some of the other platforms, that say Mark is played. So download and hit Mark is played. Now, I would prefer that you listen, and I do believe that there's something for everybody there. Not every show is for everyone, but I do think if you get used to it, and if you've been listening to me for 15 weeks on this show, you can't hate me that much. So I could use a little support there. And if you are actually in the business, if you are a worker in wrestling, please make yourself known. I love having guests on the Gospel of Thomas show where, Thomas has been Mr. Thomas from MLW. Carol Kwan has co-hosted a couple times. Even Vinny Pacifico. Lou's been on once as sort of guest / co-host. And also Zeke the Freak has indicated that he's going to be on. So a lot of guests sort of turn into co-hosts, which makes it easier for the wrestlers with their schedules, and nobody really likes the book, including me, but at least I have to because it's my job. But anyway, that's enough. Go see Lunatic or find a way to see Lunatic. Thanks for supporting us. You're going to get one more show from us. And yeah, we really do like to hear the feedback. If you want to send it directly to Mr. Joey, I suppose that's fine. But like, we're both available.
Post it everywhere so we can share your thoughts.
Share with the world. Sing it out loud like you're from the Grand Canyon, like yelling Ricola or something. Don't be shy.
Ricola.
Exactly. Lou, for the penultimate or maybe the ultimate time, depending on how the next show naturally ends, take us out with your incantation.
Okay, one more time.
Boil them, fry them, put them in a stew. Boil them, fry them, put them in a stew. Boil them, fry them, put them in a stew. Potatoes.
Stay with my friends.
Follow Wrestling Soup on Twitter at Wrestling Soup. Like and subscribe to Wrestling Soup on YouTube, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify. With Snills